Tennessee Titans. The first game's out of the way. Time to buckle down for the long season ahead, and we're off in week 2. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line.
Here we go. 50. Plant. Let's get it together, people.
They'll run for the first time with Mark Ingram. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Here's a 2nd and 7. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep 2 hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish. Back to throw. Oh, he almost picked it. Nearly a turnover there on their opening drive. And that's a throw he'd like to have back. Now 4th down. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
That's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 17-yard line. Now a handoff here to his running back. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll make this a 2nd and 13. From the gun, here's Watson. And he hits his target. It's Kenny Stills. That one covers 24 yards. It's a 1st down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
Let's go. Get 24. 25. Check 15.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. That one, a 1st down pickup of 8.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
2 1st downs have them up near midfield now on 1st and 10. Now Watson. And Brate, the tight end's got it. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down.
Well, from their point of view, this game could not be starting out much better, could it? Force a punt on defense, and now they're moving it crisply on offense.
Crisply, I like that. Yeah, moving it very, very well. Looks like the defense on there heals a little bit. You put a score in here, long way to go, but you're right, that's a heck of a start.
Yeah, and I think this is where the play caller is looking at his play sheet and saying, to have that dagger play, to have that play and just finish them off right now, because I think they'd love to gain that big advantage early.
Watch the twist. Watch the twist. Check the
Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And he only manages a couple here down to about the 38-yard line.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8.
29 is Mike. Mike 29. Man, I got you. Man, I got you.
Now it's Watson. And the catch made by Hopkins. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. A gain of 28 yards there, and give him a first down.
And the Texans first down.
On first down, Dobbins. And he'll take this one inside the 10, down to the 8. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you've got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean, or also just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
Now a first carry for their fullback. And he tries to power forward, but he will not get back to the line of scrimmage. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that's going to make it 3rd down and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. A great play there. His 2nd touchdown on the season as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. And they got the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Titans offense set to begin the drive. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, that they touch it on this possession to try and get things moving.
So get it to the horses.
Without a doubt. They're the ones that typically end up in the end zone.
They'll look to throw now on first down. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. Now here's a throw right side taken in by his tight end. He missed on his first 3 passes, was 0 for 3. Now gets a connection. Maybe that'll get him going.
Yeah, it wasn't a time for panic, but there was some concern because once you start in a certain pattern, you're wondering, can you get out of it? And that flips the other way, too, when you're throwing it really well. In this case, now he's got his first completion. They think he might be off to the races.
Give him 7 yards on the play as they do pick up the 3rd down conversion.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw it, and was able to make the short catch and put the down marker back to 1.
Pretty solid run here on first down. Almost picked up another first, but he appears to be a few inches short. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. They still need about the length of the football here, maybe a little less as they come up on 2nd and inches. They run. It's Mark Ingram. And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
41 Mike. Don't let him breathe. Don't let him breathe. Play that time.
They're going to look to throw. He finds Corey Davis. He'll get the first down and more inside the 20. And down to the 7-yard line. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down, executed it to perfection. And that is caught by Davis for a Tennessee touchdown. Corey Davis, his second touchdown on the season, as they are now on the board here in the first half. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a second one in week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdown scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. And then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11.
Get wrong.
Out of the gun, Watson. And Brate has it over the middle. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down.
Brandon, they didn't get everything they wanted out of that play, but the tight end did. And I don't mean it in a positive way. Great job of him holding on after absorbing that big hit.
The last catch nearly got him a first, but it did not, and they'll try to convert on 3rd and inches. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. Officially a gain of just a yard there, but they do convert on 3rd and inches.
First down, Houston.
Right back to him on 1st down. He's got the first down and more past midfield. And finally brought down at the 38. A big hitter there. A first down gain of 26 yards.
That outside handoff to the left, that play has to warm the heart of an offensive line coach because they controlled the left side where they were supposed to, but they didn't allow anything to leak from the backside on the right side of the offensive line either. Well played.
Yeah, it created a big run. Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down.
A good solid gain there on 1st down, but the defense has to be happy they didn't let it pop for anything bigger.
2nd and 6 at the 35-yard line.
Watch the run.
From the 35 on 2nd down, Watson. Underneath, he's got Brate. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
An extra defensive back out there for the Titans now here for 3rd down. A shotgun snap for Watson. And he's got the completion to Hopkins. And he'll be out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
10. Check 26, check 26. You can't block me. You can't block me. You can't block me.
3rd and long. It's Watson. And this one complete to Will Fuller. And he'll be taken down well before the first at about the 36-yard line. The Titans going to use the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. I think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good. And this game will remain tied here in quarter number 2.
Here we
NFL kickers nowadays, they make things look so easy because normally from this range, about 2 out of 3. And this is not an easy kick.
Yeah, 20 years ago, you get where he was in that 50 range, maybe a little over. And it's a big kick, but now if they leave it short, you're like, whoa, what happened? And that's what we have here.
Yeah, you're right. 20 years ago, we were saying run some more plays and get closer. Now we think they're definitely within range, and you're exactly right. When it comes up short, there has to be something that went wrong because they have plenty of leg.
And now the drive starts with a completion out to the right. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back.
Set, ready for 70 in. Fox try. Twist. Begin. Ready, go.
This is Ingram on 1st and 10. He's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down. I think you mentioned in the opening drive that these guys needed to establish the run, protect the young QB. I actually wrote that down, believe it or not. So how would you assess things so far?
I'm kind of touched that you actually wrote something like that down. I appreciate that, partner. But I do think they've been able to do that. Maybe not as effectively as they wanted to, but I think we'll see more of as this game goes along because they want to continue to take care of that young QB.
Just a gain of a yard, but it's going to set him up with a 1st and goal. Second quarter, 2 minutes to go. Tie ball game.
Good work, boys. Let's go.
A reminder coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in his second week. And they're going to get to him. A sack. Sacked back at the 9-yard line.
Well, that was point counterpoint, wasn't it? They decided to throw for it on 1st and goal. Instead, the defense counters with pressure, and the defense wins, getting a big sack.
And it's caught. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. They'll wind up getting 7 on the completion, but they'll still be faced now with a 3rd and goal situation. The line of scrimmage is the 2 here on 3rd and goal. They'll look to run with Ingram. And this will result in him losing yardage. Back to the 3. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. Defense didn't budge on 3rd down. Now what are we going to see on 4th?
We're soon to find out, but does this feel like old school football or what?
Oh, yeah.
This is an old-fashioned goal line stand. I know what I would call on offense. I would go for it. I want some type of a play where my quarterback has a chance to run it or throw it. I don't just want one static play.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. You're down 3 under a minute to go. How aggressive are you going to be in this spot?
Not as aggressive as I probably would want to be. Only down 3. I mean, it might as well be even going into the half. That's not a deficit that makes me want to push it and potentially make a mistake in this situation and cost myself even more points.
But, boy, getting into field goal range and tying it, that's tempting.
Awfully enticing. You almost talked me into it.
From the 27, Watson throwing middle, and it's complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. Watson in the offense going to come up 1st and 10. And he's completed all 7 of his passes thus far. Watson now to throw. Taken down, trying to do a little too much, getting outside of the pocket, and it results in a sack. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in this first half. So after the sack, they'll come up on a still manageable 2nd and 13. Back to throw, Watson. Buying time to his left. Going deep for Hopkins. And that will be incomplete. 4 ticks left here on the clock. The Pro Bowler DeAndre Hopkins, the intended receiver. And that'll make it 3rd down. After the delay, they're backed up even further for 3rd and long. And now they'll take a timeout defensively. After the second down play, they burn the timeout, making them sweat out the final few ticks here in the second quarter.